we will be collaborating with the next gentleman. Now, the reason that I'm getting ready to call Alan Sands up, Alan Sands, I just got to tell you this phenomenal story. I met Alan at the UN, and Alan was a child when Eisenhower was the president, and he died in the United States. He was a child, and when he heard about Eisenhower passing, at the age of probably like 10 or 12 years old, he literally ran away from home to attend the funeral of Eisenhower in Abilene. Now, mind you, he lives in Omaha, Nebraska. His family woke up, did not see him in the bed. He told him he was going, though. He left a note saying, "Hey, Mom and Dad, just to let you know, I'm on my way to Abilene, and I'm going to Eisenhower's funeral." So you know his parents were totally shocked. Do you know he caught a bus, a train, and wiggled his way all the way up? So his parents did get to see him on TV. He actually made it on the television at Eisenhower's funeral, and he did this when he was in middle school. Now, mind you, I'm sure as you all that are out here are parents, you know that when he got home, it was over. But it was over. But his dedication so I thought it would be fitting, and his dedication to veterans and peace and preserving the legacy, what draws us is his legacy, preserving the legacy of the Buffalo Soldiers. So without further ado, I would like for you to meet Alan Sands, who is the founder of Keepers of the Peace Project, which is a UN affiliate program that the Buffalo Soldiers Association will be working on moving forward.
Just so all of you parents know, I did get grounded. And, I was grounded for quite a while. But it was really, I think, my first act of patriotism. And I could be very proud of that because I think history is our best teacher. And it has to be preserved and treasured forever. And I guess that's why I've been so committed to the project that I have been working on now for 8 years. Actually, it was awarded to me 8 years ago by the United States World War I Centennial Commission. I was living in Nebraska, in Lincoln, not Omaha.
Oh, sorry.
And when they gave me the project on the 42nd Rainbow Division, I said, "Who?" Had never heard of them. And I know Monique, one of the commissioners, she said to me, "Alan, think about this. Why don't you do this?" And I said, "Monique, I'm a hopeless romantic. I don't do war." And so I turned her down. And she said, "Alan, you need to think about it. Sleep on it." I did. And then I decided to do it. But I wanted to change war into peace. And that's what I've done with the Keepers of the Peace Sister School program. And this is a program that we're working on with the United Nations now. I truly believe that our enemy is not another nation. Our enemy of today is the climate. The climate crisis is very, very, very serious. And this generation and future generations have to accept the fact that we really need to address this. And we have to address it with the young. So that's why the Keepers of the Peace Sister School program has been developed to really break down the barriers, the cultural barriers, and bring kids together from all over the world, working in collaboration and unity and togetherness to come up with solutions for the climate crisis. And I'm pretty excited to be around these young people. And I know that as of now, they say that the World War II generation was our greatest generation. Well, I really believe that this generation today, and they're going to face this problem, and they're going to do it with dignity and also a courageous spirit. And I just am so happy and thrilled to be around these young people. But it all goes back, you guys, to the 42nd Rainbow Division and the Harlem Hellfighters and obviously the Buffalo Soldiers. I don't know if you know the story about the Harlem Hellfighters, but I need to tell it. It's a story that should have been told a long, long time ago. When I was awarded the 42nd Rainbow Division, did I know about the Harlem Hellfighters? No. If I would have stayed in Nebraska, would have I ever known about the Harlem Hellfighters? No. Most Nebraskans don't even know about Harlem, much less the Harlem Hellfighters. But when I met their general, he's now deceased, General Nathaniel James, and he told me the plight of the Harlem Hellfighters and the prejudice and discrimination that they faced as Americans. And they basically, when they got to France, even though they were trained for combat in Harlem, where do you think they went? They actually were put on the docks loading and unloading ships because no white soldier would fight with them. And they could have stayed there, but they didn't want to stay there. They wanted to fight for our country as Americans. And so they had actually a colonel, Colonel William Haywood, who was white. Actually, I'm proud because he was from Nebraska, believe it or not. And he didn't know where Harlem was either until he got there. But he actually talked to General Pershing a lot about, come on, you got to let these guys fight. And Pershing, I think he would have if he could, but the politics of the time prevented him from doing that. Meanwhile, the French were losing so many men, they were pestering Pershing too. And so he was getting it from both sides. A long story short, they were loaned to the French army. They fought in French uniforms, and they, to this day, are revered as one of the best French divisions. Did they ever lose even an inch of land? No. Was one prisoner taken? No. Did they actually fight in the trenches longer than any other division in the war? Yes. 190 days they were in the trenches. An amazing, amazing story. And I have the honor of telling it, along with the 42nd Rainbow Division, and they also were a pretty amazing division because they were made up of 26 National Guard units from all over the country. When we declared war, our army wasn't much. It was 130,000, poorly trained, poorly equipped, and they had never been abroad for any war. Well then, one of your alums, General MacArthur, Douglas MacArthur, he was a major in World War I, says, wait a minute, we have all these National Guard troops all over the country, why don't we bring them together so they could get to France quicker because they're halfway trained. So that's exactly what happened. They actually, 26 National Guard units came together in New York at Camp Mills, and there were 4 regiments that were actually infantry. I'm dealing with 2, the New York 69th and the Alabama 4th. Well, going back into history again, these 2 units in the Civil War fought each other, at the Battle of Fredericksburg. And they actually didn't like each other very much when they met. And they actually almost said goodbye to the whole project. But Major MacArthur said, I'm going to shape these guys up. Give me 2 months. And they were. They became one of our best divisions in the war. So this mini-series is about that. But Keepers of the Peace fulfills my dream of turning war into peace and uniting these students in the same manner that actually the Harlem Hellfighters and the Buffalo Soldiers came together in unity, togetherness, and solidarity. Thank you very much. An honor to be here.